Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Manufactio Nuclear Edition. Last episode we got a few things done. We got our concrete-based system or concrete manufacturing plant up and running, kind of, and I did go ahead and complete the rest of it. You never mind about this. We'll talk about that very shortly because today we're going to be very busy. I went ahead and continued on with the rest of the project and got the gravel, sand, cobblestone production kind of thing sorted. So what we're doing is we're inputting cobblestone into this chest for right now. That is then ground by this grinder into gravel and the silicon dust. And in this one, this is the one that grinds it into, again, gravel, which is then forced through an item router, which will peel out the silicon dust, put it into that chest, and dump it into that whatever they call it, ore mixer, and then the gravel is then ground into the sand and the other things. So it's sand and whatever this stuff is over here. Again, it's been a minute. I've got to remember all of this stuff, the lime. So this is just so that we can continue to keep producing things and making things happen. And again, I went and integrated it into this. This little factory or this little assembly line is incredibly temporary. It just needed to be set up so that we could build a bunch of concrete so that we could start working on building a platform. Now, for those of you that are expecting me to be all creative and build lots of cool stuff and make buildings and factory stuff, we're not doing that this time. We did it last time. We've done it the last 3 or 4 Minecraft Minecraft seasons or Minecraft, whatever you want to do, packs that we've done, the modded packs that we've done the last 2 or 3 years since we did Manufactio, the first one. We are not going to do that this time. What we're going to go for this time is just dead efficiency, or at least try to be as efficient as we possibly can. We're also going to go for a bus base, or at least what I would consider a bus base. We're not going to use belts. We're going to use logistics pipes for the most part of it, but we're going to go for a bus-based base, meaning that we're going to build in a similar fashion of the way that I would normally build in Factorio, which means we're going to have a central location or a central walkway that's going to walk all the way down through the main portion of the base with assembly lines on either side. Now, because this is Minecraft and not Factorio, we're going to take a cue from Satisfactory, or we're going to take a cue from the fact that this is a 3D world. We're going to build vertically. We're going to try to incorporate structures into this as much as we can. I'm going to pretty them as much as I can, but we're not going to go for the pretty factor this time. We're going to go for efficiency, or we're going to go for production. We want it to do what we want it, we need it to do without having to be silly. Now, we're going to have pretty, we're going to have stuff, we're going to do a little bit of decorating. I'm going to try to use decent looking blocks should we need to go vertical. But for the most part, like I said, we're going to build this sucker to actually produce science and do things. So we're up here on top of the platform, and yes, I hand-laid all of this, and I'm an idiot. I should have researched batteries, although I don't think I can even make batteries if I try to make batteries right now because, where are they? Batteries. These things right here, I believe, are what we need. So if I click on this, this is going to be sulfuric acid, and sulfuric acid is sulfur and water in a chemical plant. And I could maybe get a little bit of sulfur right now. I think the only way we can get sulfur right now is by killing creepers, I think, because we don't have anything that's going to produce it for us right now. By the end of some of today, at least of what I hope to do today, we should be able to start at least building some stuff. So the plan is, and I know this is kind of stupid, but the plan is going to be fairly simple. Let me get my F9 button up so you guys can see the chunk borders. Every one of these squares are going to be a chunk, and I'm going to try to lay out a process in a chunk, which means if I'm going to say we're going to do, well, we'll say we'll process iron ore right here. So what we'll do is we'll put the grinder down, the sieves down, and then anything else that'll happen in this deal. If we need to, we can extend into these chunks. I'm not going to try to be exactly perfect when this comes up as far as to try to keep one process completely inside a chunk. It's just not going to happen. But what I want to try to do, at least say for this beginning start, is I want to produce iron ore, I want to produce copper ore, and I want to maybe produce lead ore and tin ore in these little sections right here. And then what we'll do is we're going to feed or feed the rest of the factory as we keep going that direction using the belts that are available, our belts, that logistics pipes. Now, again, these are about half lines. This is going to be where the bus exists, and essentially what the bus is going to be is just some logistics pipes headed that direction or wherever. What we're going to do back here, and I'm saving this area back here for now, is we're going to gather water for what we need over on these sides. I know it's a little bit further away than I'd like it to be. We'll eventually get into the groundwater bores that will allow us to do whatever we need to do with that. But back here is where we're going to produce or bring in the things from rail lines or what is it? The orbital laser drill thingy. There's all kinds of orbital laser drill, the rail guns. There's all kinds of cool things that we're going to eventually get for a while. There is plenty of space back here to be able to do what we need to do. Hopefully there's what, 1, 2, maybe 3 chunks before we get into anything. And this is also probably where we're going to produce water, or at least produce water for the time being for the things. So with all that said, this is how we're going to do stuff. I wanted to kind of touch on a couple of other things. And the touch on the other couple of things is the fact that this is going to get really ugly really quickly under here. I've already tried it. Oop, did I get one? We've already had a few little problems with our little friends down here because of the fact that this is now a mob spawning area. And that's totally understandable and intentional. When I said I was going to dig out from underneath the base, we're going to dig out from underneath the base and then build a monster mob farm underneath of this thing so that we can gather up all the resources from those mob farms. The reason why I'm interested in that especially, I believe, is actually going to be sulfur, because I've killed a few creepers. I've gotten a couple of these things out of them. Plus, we can use it for a couple other stuff. String, which is not going to be terribly necessary, I believe we can turn into the stuff that we're doing over here, the plant fibers. And there's going to be some other stuff that we can do. Plus, I'll be able to use the bone meal and all the other things for various things. But I'm pretty sure all of this... Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of that has come from creepers. That little bitty 10 amount plus the gunpowder plus everything else. Gunpowder is the thing that we're going to need to be able to make because of the fact that gunpowder, of course, is going to be how we're going to build bullets and things and military. Now, gunpowder you can craft using coke, dust, sulfur, and niter. This is sandstone, and this is not an amazing recipe. This is I hate that recipe kind of thing when it comes to thermal. It's one of those, I just don't like that recipe. So that means we're going to have to continuously produce lots of things. It's all kind of going back to that little process that we learned over there, is that we need cobblestone. Well, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of blocks of cobblestone right here that I can mine up with miners, that I don't have to worry about building a cobblestone generator just yet. Now, we're going to get to the point we're probably going to want to build a cobblestone generator. Point is, we're going to mine out everything underneath the base because it's available and it's going to be usable. And you can go away. Hey. No bugs? No bugs. Okay. The other thing I noticed, I know it's concrete. It's concrete. It's reinforced concrete. The other thing I've noticed is the spiders spawn up here. Now, whether or not that's intended, I don't know. I don't really care. They're not a problem. So the other thing that is going to be a issue for us before we get to building, and I know we're talking once again, as we always do, is that this is a massive spawning platform, and the spot underneath of it is a massive spawning platform. We do have the lanterns. We do have powered lanterns. And we do have the floodlights. Floodlights. The issue with those is both of those are going to be continuously producing radiation. Now, that's not a problem. Once we get scrubbers, that'll be something we might look at later on. I'm not going to worry about it, mainly because of the fact that I already have access to cool little things like this. Now, these, again, not terrible to recipe. Not terrible. They're going to cost us plates, glass, and glowstone, which, as you all know, glowstone is going to be glowstone dust, which is glowstone, which is various things in here where you're supposed to be able to do crushed crystals into this, into that, using hydrogen, chemical plants, and all those kinds of things. Where did he get the glowstone? Well, where do you think I got the glowstone? We'll go over here and take a look. Notice the green dots on the floor. In the floor down here, we have started our, again, villager processing system, and they're doing the thing that they're usually doing where they're broken. But I'm only here for various little problems such as this. So we're only going to be playing with these guys because you guys need to go down there. Quit playing around. And then you can go get to the mess where you need to go. But these guys, of course, we're going to be trading with things because of this, and this. Again, I'm going to have to do all the hard work and the math and the stuff to keep that going. Math, whatever. I'm going to have to do all the hard manual labor to make that work for now. We are eventually going to automate this so that I don't have to deal with these guys, but they're there. The other thing I'm trying real hard for, and I haven't gotten one yet, is I want a toolsmith that will, I'm going to have to accidentally, I don't have it on me, but I'm going to be trying real hard for a toolsmith that will be able to get us stuff like this, because it's just an easy way of making tools. Even though, hello game, can I have the save spot there? It is awesome. But again, we're going to be trading like we always do. And again, mob farm, rod and flesh, emeralds, forever into the stuff that we need. We're not going to be going absolutely crazy like we did the last time. We're just going to do what we need to do to make sure that it works, and we'll go from there. I do want a librarian that's going to get us a couple of things. I'm still waiting on a silk touch for a pickaxe because we found a couple of other things so I can rip this out. So one more thing in between episodes that I did is that since we unlocked it, I went ahead and unlocked, or went and built a oil collector platform thingy, whatever you want to call this dude. And I since moved a entire thing of oil source over to this area. And this is something that I wanted to get onto right off the bat as soon as we got a hold of them. So the oil, what is it? This oil well package. Where is the oil well mining well? This I need. You need to be able to put this on a 5x5x3 tall oil source, magnetic craft oil source. Now, these are real blocks. You can silk touch them, or you can pick them up with a capsule and do whatever you want to do. What I did is I went and gathered up all that I needed out of that one that's right behind the base and put it down here in the ground using capsules, and then set this construction on top of it. And what this construction is doing is it's using hardened fluid ducts. So if we go over here and we look at these here, you have two recipes. You can either use the fluid ducts, regular fluid ducts that are going to be consumed at a rate of 10% to give you 100 millibuckets of oil, or you can use the hardened fluid ducts and they will give you 175 millibuckets of oil, and they're consumed at a 1% chance. So this is going to be one of those things. This is how we're going to power our stuff. So hardened fluid ducts are not all that expensive. We have the Invar, we have the bronze, and for that matter, once we get a lot of excess tungsten, this is the recipe we're going to be using. We're going to automate that. We're going to have stacks and stacks of those, and they're going to be feeding these things so that we can feed oil into tanks, so we can use fluid fireboxes on these. Now, it is roughly the same burn time as a coal is. However, this technically, it's not infinite. It's not infinite because I had to build this structure and I have to feed it with the item duct or the fluid ducts. But it's a heck of a lot easier to build a power plant now anywhere I want to build a power plant, so long as I have a reasonable amount of water. Now, whether or not that's a thing, it's one of those things. These are the kinds of things I kind of like to play with. So we have converted over from the coal to, well, oil, because oil has a burnable factor. It's, I think, marginally better than coal. Marginally. I don't know if it's much better, but it's marginally better, and it's functional. We did unlock, where is your button? It's this button. We did unlock the advanced steam turbines, and once we get to the point where we get to need to build a few of these things, we're going to be tearing this building system, this whole thing down, because one of these can run 3 of those advanced turbines. Well, that's 6,000 RF a tick that one of these can produce, which means since we're kind of be restricted to how much power we can actually run, part of the underside of the base is going to be building little bitty power stations all throughout the underside of here. There's going to be one of these sitting somewhere underneath of here every so many chunks that is just going to keep the base running so we have power up top. That's how we're going to do power. We're not going to play around with this line loss and any of that other silly stuff. What is that? That's new. What are you? What are you? No idea. Here. Interesting. What did you give me? Use on that. Mycelium. Nice. Not that it really matters. But anyhow, I figured I'd show you guys that mess. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get to building some of the stuff that I've wanted to do for the rest of the episode. So we spent plenty of time doing that. And there's one of them stupid wolves. I have enough of this now to make a full set of wolf armor. So let me gather a couple of things up, and we'll get the sun back up, and then we'll go to building. Okay, so next step is to have a little bit of fun and another one of those kinds of things. So I went ahead and made a box full of stuff, or at least a box full of stuff for now, and let's see what we can do. So what I want to do is I want to process everything I can process kind of right here, like I said. We're going to kind of, actually, let's move that a little closer. We were further out than I thought I was. We'll put this right here. Now, this section is going to be ore processing. I need to finish the second stripe right there as far as separating. This is all kind of temporary. I mean, I put the orange lines down so I kind of see what the heck we were doing. But basically what we're going to do is I'm going to split these in half. And I really should have made a chisel, but there needs to be another one of these lines right here. So this is going to be kind of like that. But anyhow, we're going to build one on camera. And then what I'm going to do is off camera build the rest of the structures that I need to do. But essentially it's going to be the same thing that we have kind of laying over there, except it's going to be in a little bit more of an organized and permanent idea. So let's put this over here. The idea is going to be trying to figure out where I want to actually place the smelters. Everything else I've kind of got it in my head, and it should all kind of just fit there nicely and organized in the way that we need to build things. So let's go ahead and start with the grinders. And if I do this and I place all four of these down, and then I do this and put them in. Let me see. I want that. I need that. That should be everything, I hope. 32, 40, 40, 40, 32. Good deal. And then I grab a grinder. Where did it go? Did I forget that one? Shoot. 1 second. Alrighty then. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play around with things. So grinder, we go click. You have this. That's one grinder. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want the sieves. So sieves again, we'll do this. And then I'm going to do something kind of the same thing as we did before. And this and do that again. And then blunk, 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 blunk. And then put all that in here. Along with the sieve thingies. There we go. That should be everything, I think. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got those. And then I'm going to grab one of these. And then we grab our sieve thing, which should be right there. So click load. All right, cool. What I love about this, or at least what I love about this, the mods that we get here, is the fact that this stuff goes so quickly once you get set up. Once you get things built and figured out, it goes very, very, very quickly. So the other thing I want to do is ore washer, and I know we're going to have to build a hydro plant for that. So, oh shoot, that's not what I needed. Give me that back. We're good to go there. Yes, one more time. And no, I need that. Don't do that. Factory block, I think that needs to go in here, right? Yeah, well, yeah, we're figured out. That's actually a factory block. No, that goes in here. Okay. Trying not to get too confused because this stuff is going to be all over the place. And again, it's dark, so wonderful. We'll just go ahead and do this, and this, and this, and this, so we can see what we're doing. Now, I am going to convert these over to the inset floor lighting ones, which will allow us to place it against structures so you can actually kind of use it as decorating. I don't like the fact that they do that. And these do place on all sides of a block, which is kind of nice, but it's easier to just kind of just make them hide a little better. So we'll do something like that. All right, so let's start in this one. I think we should have enough stuff at this point to kind of play around with. Where is the ore washer? Actually, I need, yeah, hydro plant, ore washer, that. And then you do that. Click. All right, so we have 3 things that we need to play with. Let's start with a grinder. And we're going to start with a grinder facing, let me see, the output's got to go backwards. Where's the corners? I kind of want to line it up simply, or the center kind of deal. So let's see. It's going to be offset a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's offset it to the back, so we'll start there, I think. And then these center, I want a single block space, I think. So that'll get us an idea what we need to do. So what's going to happen is we're going to do the processing here, and then either right directly above it or right straight across from it, we're going to do the rest of the processing for the materials. So the base material is going to come in, and then it's either going to go up, which I think will probably go up. I might have enough, I might have to rip some more of this stuff up. I ran through all of the silicon dust that we had in order to be able to do this. So I think no, shoot. I did it again. I want to move those forward 1, and then they're going to have to go up 1. So let me see. I need my belts. Belts and hoppers. We're going to use these to try to take care of some of the action, and mainly because of the fact that it's just going to be easier to deal with them this way. So it's going to save on logistics pipe cycles, which I know it sounds kind of silly, but that, and that. Can I place you on this? Like that. Nope. Done. There. Those should be the blocks that it's going to come out on. Sweet. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. And do I have a thing? Let me rip this out real quick. Do something similar. No, not that. This. And then we should be able to do the sieve. I went and filled it back up. So fill, drop, and hopper, down, down, and down. Fill, and drop. Okay, now get that out of your inventory. I don't want that sinking into the floor. I don't want this belt in the floor. I kind of want it like that. Now, that's going to leave us a kind of an odd acquisitional problem here. However, I think what's going to happen here very quickly is we're going to be changing how we do a few things because we're going to start integrating logistics pipes into this. So let's see. I need a grinder, so you can have this, and then that should be our input with our export right there. I want 3 sieves, so let's do this. Click. Oh, shoot. That one. Got to remember to place it the correct direction or else it does stupid things like that. All right, nice. So those are going to stick up a block in the air just slightly. We're going to pull the excess out of here, and then we're going to deliver it to a belt that's going to go into either a chest or a thing. Now, after this stuff needs to be washed. And the washer, I think, probably in the... What I want to do is I want to pair the two things together. We'll talk about it in a little bit. This is likely going to be one of the minor ones, so like lead or tin. But again, we've spoken about this before. Iron ore waste, or let me just do it like this. Ore waste. We've looked at these before. We've already seen this. So we're going to be doing iron, copper, tin, and lead in this one right off the bat because we don't have any of these other ones. These other ones, depending on how things will go, will be leftovers or probably processed in a different location. But iron ore waste and I think it's tin ore waste are going to share the same machine, which is going to be a centrifuge, if I recall correctly. We'll just click on this one, right? Yeah. So this is how we're going to get the most titanium dust and the silicon dust out of this. That's what we're after, is the titanium and the silicon. The tin ore waste, I believe, is going to be the same thing as well. Ore washer, where is it? Probably went too far already. There it is. So this is going to be how we're going to get the most silicon and aluminum as well as cobalt. Now, if we want cobalt dust, we're going to get cobalt dust from, click the right button. That's going to come from copper, pretty much. That's going to be copper with a electrolyzer, I believe. One of those two. There's a lot of different ways of getting things, but like aluminum, I should say copper and lead are going to both be coming into an ore electrolyzer. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to line machines up based on what they're going to give us as far as products. So at the end product. So iron and tin are going to be right here with the electrolyzers and the processors above them or however, and then the copper and the lead are going to be over there to do the same thing. So let me do a little bit of that. I think we've got it sorted at this point. So let me see. Where is my this and this and provider? I think I want a provider and a supplier. What I want to do is there's going to be some oddness that happens occasionally, and I want to be able to just plumb materials in from the center. So our feeder logistics line is going to exist. Let me see. I want a supplier right here. And then we're going to do, we'll go up a little ways just so it's not out and, hanging out in our air. And then that's going to be where this is going to come from. So then this is going to be all the way down here, kind of like so. And then we'll stick another grinder in down here somewhere. But essentially what I'm going to do is we're going to have small logistics pipe systems that are going to be fed from the main logistics pipe system. So we can put a, let's see, we're going to say that the edge of the line here, and we got all these nice, wonderful chests. Do something like this. And then a provider here with this, and that. And then if I do that again with another chest, so then we can input, say, iron here and tin here, and then it'll go out that direction and do what it needs to do. This section is going to be for excess stuff in case we need to do something specific, like, we have to craft something or if we have to have storage for something. So like if we need to, what we'll probably end up doing is building, this may move backwards and we'll have storage, like say right here for the materials. There's just going to be excess. We're going to put this down right now just so that I know what it looks like. So that'll do this. And then since we have the logistics right here, what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and use a provider here and that should work to this. I don't need a basics because I should be able to just do supplier there, click, and that. Yeah, okay. And then all I got to do is just connect that to that. That's a kind of a terrible waste of pipe, but whatever. So then what we can do with this is out here on the end or wherever we think we need to have it, I should be able to bury a, where is it? I know I made them. Yeah, I did make a few. Every one of these lines is going to have its own productional system, although I think at this point we should only need 2 if we do something like this. Won't work, will it? Will it work over here? Okay, so that should connect, and then that'll let us draw power. We will, again, I think power is going to exist under this platform, so we'll end up tying in power under so that we have a nice little thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that again a few more times. Hammer, hammer. Alrighty then. So we have a little bit of a structure built out and a little bit of a thing. So I think what we're going to do for right now, and this is going to be a for right now, we're going to just get to the point where we're making ingots out of various things. Granted, we're not going to be plugging this in, and we're going to have to do a little bit more work later on. But I think this is what we're going to work with. So we're going to have our grinder back in the back over there, and I kind of changed the position of this so that it looked a little better. Again, I want the dynamic. I want a lot of stuff flying around and floating, and I wish the inputs were right here instead of on the bottom, and I wish the outputs were not on the bottom, but either way, we should be able to figure things out. I likely will probably just put some scaffolding blocks underneath these aluminum or the steel. It's kind of a steel color anyway, so we'll just put some scaffolding blocks underneath of these so that they look pretty good. This is going to then deliver into a conveyor belt, into a storage rack chest. We're just going to use a single height, or well, that tall of one for right now. That should give us plenty of back stuff storage for the moment in time. We're going to have to turn some of this on and use it occasionally, just because of the fact that we're going to continue to need to make well, concrete and a couple other things. So we're going to deliver it into here. I'm going to use the belts mainly because of the fact that that's 9, 10 logistics interfaces that we don't have to worry about. Those are just going to dump straight out onto that belt, straight into this storage. And because there's going to be a storage here, we won't have to worry about anything backing up on this belt unless this storage fills up. Now, that's going to be a while because I hopefully will be able to get all this stuff sorted and running. So into each one of these sections here, we're going to put the ingots that we need into a set of, well, 2. We're going to do 2 for right now. We're just going to, come on, game. Hey, there we go. Saving once again. We're going to put them into 2 of the blast furnaces for the time being. Now, this is, again, for the time being, we're going to do that. And like I said, the reason why I like these lights is you can do this with them, and they kind of attach to the bottom of structures. So you can kind of do that. It actually looks really good on a conveyor belt. Kind of looks a little familiar. Yay, we have a friend. Haven't seen one of you guys in a while. Where are you? Goodbye. And I have extra junk that I don't need in my inventory now. Let's see. Sort this very quickly. Put it in something, because I think that was a piece of stuff that we may need eventually. What is this? This is the ectoplasm. Anyhow, it's getting dark. Let's kind of play around. I think we're going to have the outputs face this direction in, and then either deliver this direction or wherever. Essentially what I want to do is I want to separate all of the assembly line logistics pipes networks. Do that so we can see what we're doing, so that they're separated. Basically, we're going to have a whole bunch of little bitty networks that are going to be managing everything. I don't want a big, massive system. We're going to have assembly line networks, what I'm going to call assembly line, or we're going to produce a single or 2. In this case, we're going to produce 2 things from this one little line over here, 2 or 3 or 4 things, whatever. We're going to do all of that kind of stuff, and then whatever comes out of the excess of the ore waste, this is here, these little deals, we're going to go upwards with it right here. Eventually, we're going to end up using probably 2 centrifuges. I think for the time being, we're just going to run it with 1 above here, since this is a 50% chance coming off of all of these that we may or may not get anything. Once the factory gets in a full swing to where we're producing materials pretty much constantly, we will be running at least 1 or 2, well, probably at least 1 centrifuge per each line here, and 1 electrolyzer per both of those 2 lines over there. If not more, we'll just see. I know we have the ability to run modules and run things faster. At this point, I don't care. We'll probably try to do productivity this time around, productivity and speed. because of the fact that that'll kind of get us a little bit more stuff. But anyhow, what we're going to do is, I think for now and the time being, I know this is not going to be fast enough. I'm already well aware of that's not going to be fast enough. But boink, boink, and then boink, boink. Did they line up the way I wanted them to? Yes. All right. The storage... That's plenty of room enough for those. I may scoot these over a little bit. Eventually, we're going to have 3 of them. I think we're probably going to run 3 per thing. I don't know if that's going to be fast enough. We're going to kind of play around and see. Probably not, but let's see. Let's grab a couple of these conveyor belts. And I think I'm going to go that way for right now. And then we should be able to do this and this. And I got to go around that thing. Yes. Maybe. Okay. Where did I put those item routers? Item routers go. Item routers go. Where did you go? And again, we'll just do something. Good Lord, quit stuttering, game. You're fine. 2 item routers. 2 chests again, and another belt. I'm out of belts. I'm out of belts. I'm out of belts. I love it. Well, we'll put a belt into the item router, and then say on the green side here, we're going to place iron ingots. That's perfect. And then on the green side here, we'll do copper ingots right there. And then as those are delivered into that, it'll get shunted into here and into there. Now, what that's going to allow us to do is that's going to allow us to place provider pipes. Where are they? Provider. That one right there on the side of those chests, and access this from the main network, which is going to probably do something. I think it might go that high for that matter, just to make it look pretty. That's going to come out a couple of blocks and go, come on, game. Give me a minute. Something kind of like that. We're going to do that on both sides. Every one of these major assemblies, every one of these things is going to have access to this kind of a thing. I'm going to be able to, I want to do at least this many sides because that will allow me to add another set in should we run out of bandwidth and do this again. So we can come up. And you're going to get mad at me to stack that direction, but we can come out and up and like maybe do another line if we have to. So that way we have plenty of bandwidth, plenty of room, plenty of things. So going down the line, every one of these sections is going to be its own process. It's going to be its own thing. And we're going to bring the same old little mess over here. We're going to build the same deal so that when you're running through this base, you're just going to see items flying through pipes coming from areas that are out of here. When we eventually get into applied energistics, we may or may not use them. Depends on how efficient the base is at this applied energistics, refined storage, or whatever it is. I'm actually kind of sad he took out XNet, but whatever. We can sort that out as we go. We're going to have a little bit more fun with this. We're going to play around. We're going to do some more stuff. It's been a long enough episode. I'm going to kind of sort this out, get it the way I want to go. This little area right here is going to be its own network. So, well, it's going to be its own network with access to the other ones. So we're going to do suppliers on top of these. And I think that, real quick, I think coal coke, I think we're going to be building very soon too, again. But I should be able to do something like, before we end here, let me get this sorted. I got a lot of cutting to do anyway. Give me that. There. And then we'll just drag this line over here, probably, and do something kind of like this. I wonder if that'd attach to the side of that. I'll have to fool with those later on. But we'll go ahead and connect these in. Yeah, I know I've got to do that here. That's part of the other fun thing about this is trying to figure out how things you want to go. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to pull the iron ore, the pulverized ores out of those two things. We're going to place them into these Actually, I don't think I can do that. I'll have to go higher than that because the preheaters will be in the way. So I'll probably come up and go across the top of them. It's simpler to do it that way. Each ore section will get its own personal little things, and then what we'll do right, like probably here or something along that line, is I will put another provider pipe that will attach to this network that will be pulling coal coke in to fill these things, and then we'll go from there. So I think for now, ladies and gentlemen, we've managed to make a mess. Can I get my dirt pile so we can actually look at what's going on? Plenty tall enough, I think, and we'll do something about like that so I can see you guys in the next episode. We're going to start working on the process that's going to live above this, which is going to be, well, ore washing and centrifuging, electrolyzing, and whatever else we need to do, and then we'll go. I will probably go ahead and hook up a water plant off to the side over here just so we'll have the water plant for the rest of the stuff, and then we'll start thinking about how we're going to integrate the power under the base after that. We've got a lot of episodes to go before this is going to get any better, but this is how we're going to be doing things. We're going to just keep on going until we get to about maybe that third or fourth row so that we can start building our mall out and we can start having fun stuff. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.